Making a 3D keychain lesson number 4. Now that you've cleaned up your artwork, we will proceed to resize it correctly and add the keychain loop or the necklace loops. So if you use the selection tool, which is the hollow arrow, you can select your object. And if you go to transform, you can see the size. Should be in millimeters or inches. The size that we've decided that your letter for your necklace or fob, if it's a single letter, should be around 2 inches tall. So to resize it, what we're going to do is just simply type in 2 inches. To ensure that our object is scaled so that the size in length and width remains the same ratio, we have to make sure that this chain link is clicked. If it's open like this, if I change the height to 2, you can see that the width doesn't change. So if we go back and click on the constrain and make sure that it's linked, if we change it to 2 now, it changes the width as well. Now what we need to do is we need to add the loop. To add the loop, we just go to the square or rectangle shape here, and we left click on it and hold down, and we have an ellipse tool. An ellipse tool will just draw ellipses. Now you can see that if we draw, it kind of can make an oval long or tall. Now what we want to do is make a perfect circle. So to do that, what you do is you hold down the shift key. It doesn't really matter the size at the moment. You can see what we end up with is a black circle. What we want to do is make a ring. So I'm going to go to the top left hand corner, choose the selection tool, and I'm going down to the bottom left here, and right now this is your fill and your outline parameters. Right now what we have is black fill and no outline. If we flip it, you'll see now that we have a black outline and no fill, and that's exactly what we want. Now we want to bump up the weight of the ring, so we're going to come up to the stroke line and we're going to press that a couple times, maybe 3 and up to 4 if you like. Now we would like to transform this to be about 0.25 inches. So there we go. And that's about the size that will work really well for our keychain. Now what we need to do is we need to fuse it together. So if I go Command Y, you can see actually I have my C, but the ring is actually just a circle. So what we need to do is we need to turn that into a ring. So to do that, we use our selection tool, go back to our circle, click on it, go to Object and Expand. And we're going to expand the fill and the stroke. And now you can see it's a ring. If we go Control Y, it's a ring. Now we go back to the proper placement. We'll just zoom in, make sure that our ring doesn't overlap with anything, and you can see it overlaps with that white stretch. So what we're going to do is just drag it into the right spot, and there we go. Control Y lets us see what it looks like. Now this is going to be 3D printed as a C plus a ring. What we want to do is 3D print the C with a ring. So if we pick that and press Shift and select our C, we've selected everything there, and now we're going to go to our Pathfinder tool, which should be on our left or right hand side there. If it's not there, you just go to Window, scroll down to Pathfinder, and now that those two shapes or objects have been selected, we can just choose this one, which is Unite, kind of like welding. And now it's welded together. We're going to save it. I'm going to save as clean C and with ring. And it's an AI file now, so I'll save that. Okay. So now we should have 2 files. The file format that we need for 3D printing it is actually not .ai, which stands for Adobe Illustrator, but it needs to be in SVG. So we'll go back and save it one more time, and we'll go Save As, and we're going to go down to SVG, which means Scalable Vector Graphic, and you can see it changed the ending there, file format, and we're just going to press Save again. Okay, there we go. Now it's ready for 3D printing. It just requires us to extrude it so it has some thickness.